coming back to my channel. This video, again, is just going to be our weekly forecast for the week of September 22nd. I'll just start with a general disclaimer as I usually do. This is per each zodiac as a collective. It's not specific to any one person in these sun signs for the zodiac. So if it doesn't resonate with you, just continue to keep tuning in because I'm sure we'll have a message here for you soon. I do just want to apologize. It's been a super crazy last week. I got a promotion at my current job, so I've been going through the training of that, and so I know I've missed a couple videos, and I do just want to apologize, but I definitely just want to let you know that they will be consistent from here on out, and let's jump right in. Alright, so we'll just, again, per usual, start with Aries. Aries, you guys pulled the Knight of Cups reversed, and then you pulled the Four of Wands reversed. Now, when I look at these two cards together, essentially what I'm hearing is that communication is key. While we're looking at the Knight of Cups reversed, this kind of represents an emotional overload and you're being reactive to situations instead of proactive. And you're just kind of experiencing this type of moodiness this week, just this very emotional level this week. And then as we look at the Four of Wands, this essentially represents just a type of instability in your foundation or in your home. You're feeling very unstable in your home life and your communication is very out of sync because of the moodiness and the emotional overload. So when we look at these cards together this week, definitely recognize that you may be feeling these extreme emotions, and instead of being so reactive to the situation, be proactive. Calm down and ensure that you're communicating in the best way that you possibly can to help remedy the situation and just bring that stability right back into your foundation. Alright, this one is for my Taurus babies. We have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. We have the King of Cups. We have the Nine of Swords. And we have the Seven of Swords. Now, when I look at just all of these cards all together, essentially what I'm seeing is kind of the phrase that secrets don't make friends. As we're looking at the Nine of Pentacles, when you look at this reversed, it essentially represents that you're very materialistic and you're dependent upon material things. You have to have the best out of everything, and this is causing a little bit of self-sabotage in your life. As we kind of move forward to the Nine of Swords, this represents this kind of anxiety and worry and distress. And the Seven of Swords represents these discreetness or secrets that you're keeping that are definitely in conjunction and just kind of causing this worry and distress and anxiety that you've been feeling. But as we look at the King of Cups, this represents mindfulness. This card is bringing you the energy and the answers to tell you that you need to take a moment and sit with yourself in the present, in the here and now. Anxiety and worry only exist because you are thinking too far ahead. You're thinking too far in the future. If you think presently and in the moment and understand that nothing bad is happening right now, it'll help you to kind of rebuild that foundation to a point where you feel better about releasing these secrets, about releasing the discreetness and kind of moving forward with that. The King of Cups energy also reminds you to just be compassionate with yourself, be compassionate to others, and as you do that, you'll find that you want to release these secrets. You don't want to keep holding on to them because they're causing you so much turmoil. So definitely build that foundation, be compassionate to yourself, and give yourself time as you kind of start to release this habit that you've kind of obtained. Alright, this one is for my Geminis. This week we pulled the Three of Swords, we pulled the Eight of Swords reversed, and we pulled the Sun card. Now when I'm looking at these cards in conjunction, I'm essentially seeing that it's time for you to awaken. There's an awakening that's coming to bless you. The Three of Swords represents this period of time where you're finding forgiveness and you're releasing pain and you're starting to find healing within your heart for something that may have happened recently or quite a while ago. And as we look at the Eight of Swords reversed, I think this is such a cool card, by the way. This represents that awakening and the self-acceptance, and this card essentially represents that you're open to change. You're reaching that point where you are wanting sorry, I live by a vase. You're wanting change, you're wanting to kind of grow and move on with your life. And as we look at the Sun card, this card brings blessings on that change. This brings optimism, this brings joyfulness and happiness. So as we look at the trends this week, you're really going to be diving deep into your heart chakra, and you're really going to find what it is that is still hurting you, that you can heal and that you can forgive and that you can release to kind of start that path on this open change that you're seeking. And again, the universe will definitely be there to bless you for it. All right, this one's for my Cancers. This week we pulled the Nine of Cups. Oh, I'm sorry, that's also reversed. Nine of Cups reversed. We pulled the Hermit reversed. And we pulled the King of Wands. Everybody knows that I love my King of Wands. Now, as I'm looking at this, this is Nine of Cups represents impatience and unrealistic expectations. And then we look at the Hermit reverse, and this one essentially represents loneliness and withdrawal. And at this point, you're kind of feeling a little bit lost, you're feeling a little bit bored, you're kind of just floating, and you're feeling lonely, and you're feeling on your own. But kind of what these cards, especially the Hermit reverse, is telling you is that you're not alone, first of all. So I don't want you to feel that you're alone. You have a whole community and foundation to support you. And then as we look at the King of Wands, this energy is here to push you through this week. It's here to empower you and to kind of urge you to create goals with your life so that you have a compass and a direction for where you're going. So definitely kind of look at that this week. Write down some goals to guide you in the right direction of where it is that you want to go. And as you do that, you'll release these feelings of impatience, and you'll release these feelings of loneliness, and you'll get kind of a guide on where you need to go and where your next step is going to be. All right, this one is for my Leos. We pulled the Ace of Pentacles. Everybody knows how much I love this card also. And the Fool reversed. I don't think I've ever actually pulled the Fool card in this deck, so this is a really pretty one. I do like this one a lot, actually. But as I'm looking at these two cards together, what this is just kind of screaming to me is don't listen to your ego. When we look at the Ace of Pentacles, this essentially represents abundance and manifestation and prosperity and all of these things that everybody is striving towards right now. And as we look at the Fool reverse, this card essentially represents foolishness and naiveness, carelessness, and you're just kind of doing whatever, thinking you're indestructible. But what the Fool reverse warns you is that you need to check your ego. You need to make sure that you're not making decisions based on your ego, but you are listening to your inner voice. It's completely okay to take risks as long as they are calculated and smart risks, not something that is going to get you into some trouble later on. So definitely keep an eye on that this week and listen more to that inner voice inside of you versus listening to your ego on the outside. All right, this one is for my Virgos. This week we pulled the Ten of Wands. And I'm so sorry, it's the Ten of Wands reversed. And then we pulled the Eight of Cups. Now when we're looking at the Ten of Wands reversed, this essentially represents heaviness and resentment. It's just very heavy energy, and you're kind of feeling like everything that you do is creating you to become a victim. You're kind of in this victim mentality, and you're just really resentful of everything that you do need to do nowadays. And as we look at the Eight of Cups, this is telling you that you're feeling very spiritually unfulfilled, and that you do need to look inwards to find this deeper purpose that's going to guide your life in a direction that is going to keep you feeling fulfilled, that is going to make you happy throughout your entire life. So this card is kind of the card that I like to look at as the start of your spiritual journey. This card is calling you to kind of start that spiritual journey, look within and find what it is that sets your soul on fire. So definitely look into that this week, especially if you're starting to feel those emotions of resentment and heaviness. Sit with yourself, learn a little bit more about yourself, and that will help to combat those feelings so that you can move forward with your future. All right, this one is for my Libras. This week we pulled the Eight of Pentacles reversed. We pulled the Wheel of Fortune reversed. This is such a cool wheel too, I love it. We pulled the Lovers cards. And we pulled the Three of Cups reversed. A little bit of backstory on these two cards. When they pulled out of the deck, they actually pulled out into chunks. So it kind of makes me think that there are two specific chunks to this reading. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. It's such a cool card too. It essentially represents self-judgment and perfectionism that's holding you back. You're also feeling a little bit of impatience. And then as we look at the Wheel of Fortune, this may represent that there are unfortunate events that are going to happen in your life this week, but it mostly represents that you are resisting change. You're trying to keep yourself in a spot where you are stuck exactly where you're at. You don't want to change. You don't want to let go. You don't want to release. And then as we look at the Lovers card, this is exactly what it seems like. It is just love and partnership. So you do have love and partnership that is coming. It's coming on its way. It's going to be here soon. But when we look at the Three of Cups reversed, this talks about people pleasing and just conforming to society. Now, when I look at these cards all together, it essentially is telling me that it's time for you to let go and to start along that change. You've been stuck in this people-pleasing, conforming, self-judging, perfectionism attitude, and it's causing you to kind of feel lonely and be held back from the people who are really going to love you and partner with you and take care of you in a healthy way. So again, with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, you're going to want to release that self-judgment, the perfectionism, and the impatience. You need to stop resisting change, and you need to start letting go, and you need to stop people-pleasing and conforming to others. That way you can make room in your life for a partner who can actually treat you the way that you want to be treated to enter. Alrighty, this one is for my Scorpios. We pulled the Five of Cups. Oh, it's not reversed. I'm so sorry. Five of Cups. We pulled the Ten of Cups. And we pulled the Five of Swords. Now, when I'm looking at these cards together, essentially what I'm hearing is don't leave your foundation behind. As we look at the Five of Cups, this essentially represents that you're kind of, due to disappointments and setbacks that you have found in your life recently, you're kind of stuck in a rut. And then as we look at the Five of Swords, this card essentially represents that you are completely in survival mode. You are looking out for only you and what is in your self-interest. But as we look at the Ten of Cups, this represents your community, you coming full circle, all of your friends and your family, your foundation that's there for you. It represents wholeness and connection. And I know while you're feeling like you're in this rut, you're craving this connection and this wholeness. So don't forget about your foundation that has been supporting you and lifting you up and has been there for you, because they will continue to be there for you as long as you reach out to them. You don't have to continue being in this rut. You don't have to continue being in survival mode, because you have all of these people who are here to lift you up. So don't leave your foundation behind. This one is for my Sagittarius. We pulled the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles reversed, and the Six of Swords. Now, when I'm looking at these cards all together, essentially what I see is that it's time to change. As we look at the Seven of Pentacles, this represents patience and investment, because she's watering the tree and growing the fruits of her labors. So you do need to invest in things. As we look at the Four of Pentacles, this essentially represents that you're materialistic and you're selfish. So then as we look at the Six of Swords, this represents a transition and a necessary change. This materialisticness and this selfishness, it's gotta go. And it's going to take patience and investment for you to be able to release those energies. But for your highest and greatest good, you do need to release that materialistic energy. You need to release that selfish energy and find yourself giving back to the community, and you will start to propel forward in your life. This one is for my Capricorns. This week you guys pulled the Justice card and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Right? Yeah, Knight of Pentacles reversed. Essentially what the Knight of Pentacles reversed means is you're feeling a little bit bored and stagnant in your life, and you're ready to kind of kick things up and start moving and flowing and starting to go do something that's a little bit out of the ordinary and exciting. As we look at the Justice card, this kind of warns you this week that you don't do anything that's going against the law or that's unfair or isn't objective. it's going to backfire on you. So as you're moving and flowing and you're getting out of this stagnant state, make sure that everything that you're doing is legal, or you're going to run into trouble with the law and you will meet justice. But just know that this Justice card also brings a balanced energy into your life this week. The scales are starting to balance, your emotions are going to start balancing out, you're kind of feeling a little bit more yourself, and that's why you're getting ready to go move and flow, to move out of this stagnant stage. So definitely just make sure that as you're doing that and as you're picking yourself up out of this rut, that you're all doing things legally. All right, this one is for my Aquarius. We have pulled the King of Swords. I haven't actually ever pulled this card in this deck before, but it's a really neat looking one. And the Two of Wands reversed. Now essentially when I look at these two cards, I'm showing that it's time for you to step outside of your comfort zone. The King of Swords represents that you have this mental clarity and sharpness. It's mental strength and it's mental clarity. And then as we look at the Two of Wands reversed, this represents doubts and limitations, limiting beliefs and your comfort zone. So it's time to use that mental clarity and your mental strength to be able to step outside of that comfort zone and chase after your dreams in a new kind of different abstract way. It may be a little bit of a risk, but this week you definitely need to take it and you need to run with it because you never know where it's gonna go. All right, Pisces, this week you guys pulled the King of Pentacles, you pulled the Ten of Swords reversed, and you pulled the Princess of Cups reversed. I also have not pulled this card before in this deck, so lots of new cards this deck. But when I look at these all together, it essentially means that you need to keep growing. As we look at the King of Pentacles, he essentially represents attaining prosperity and abundance and success. You are almost there, you're getting there. And as we look at the Ten of Swords, this essentially represents restoring and transforming yourself. Looking at the Princess of Cups, this represents immaturity and emotional instability. So this week, the cards have kind of given you almost like a checklist of what it is that you need to fix to continue to grow on this spiritual journey that you've been on. The emotional immaturity and the emotional instability is something that you need to let go so that you can restore yourself and transform yourself into something that goes above and beyond what you've ever imagined. So definitely keep an eye out for that emotional immaturity and instability this week. Definitely look for it, and as you see it, start to kind of shift your perspective, start to kind of change that a little bit so that you can continue your growth. All right, everybody, so that's all I have this week. Lots and lots of really good, just jam-packed messages. And so I really hope that you enjoyed the video. I appreciate each and every one of you for supporting me as I go about this journey and as I chase my dreams. I'll see you guys on Wednesday with my next video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Mwah.